Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for Wednesdays in the Valley. Harry Schrader with you, valleyhoopsinsider.com. This is part of our website. Of course, our website, if you're brand new to it, we cover the Missouri Valley Conference, the Ohio Valley Conference. We dabble a little bit with St. Louis University and some high school coverage as well. Glad you're with us today. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to like or subscribe to the YouTube channel. Feel free to visit the website as well. Here at Wednesdays in the Valley, we kind of recap Tuesdays if something happens to have happened, and we kind of preview a little bit of what's going to happen on Wednesday night. Last night, of course, one Missouri Valley Conference game. Drake took on Murray State. It was at Murray, and wow, Drake was spectacular last night. They knock off the Racers 92-68. And the second game in a row, Murray State's given up 90. They're in a little bit of a struggle right now. Steve Prohm told us on Monday they're trying to find their defensive identity, and that has been a struggle for them lately. But last night, Tucker DeVries, 32 points for the Drake Bulldogs. Second game in a row, he gets 32. It's his career high, back-to-back games. Double-double by Garrett Sturts, their all-time leading rebounder. They made 12 triples. DeVries had 6 of them, I think. And Drake is firing on all cylinders. They've won 6 in a row, and now they have a half-game lead in the Missouri Valley Conference first-place race. As you know, coming into this week, 4 teams tied for first and 4 more teams just 2 games back. So with that win, Drake takes a temporary lead in first place. Murray falls 3 full games out of first place, and so their first-place hopes are really in trouble right now. So they fall to 13-12, 8-7 overall. With the win, Drake gets their 20th win of this season. The Bulldogs have won at least 20 all 5 seasons that Darren DeVries has been there. He's done just a terrific job, and his son Tucker with 32 last night. Wednesdays in the Valley games tonight. Belmont is at Missouri State. This is the only game featuring two teams in that top 8. Missouri State and the Belmont Bruins. Bruins 10-4, one of those 4 teams tied for first, 17-8 overall. Missouri State 12-12. Belmont is really hot. They've won a bunch of games lately. 8 out of 10, I think, is what it's been. And they won the earlier meeting between these two teams. Cade Tyson, the freshman, had 20 in that one. Donovan Clay had 20 in that one for Missouri State. Dana Ford, head coach of Missouri State, told us he thinks his best player will be available tonight. Missed this last weekend's game with illness. The Bears have split their last 10 games. Injuries have been an issue, and other factors trying to get their lineup all put together, trying to find that momentum. Valpo 10-15 is at Indiana State 16-9. These are 2 teams that are playing good basketball right now. Indiana State's won 3 in a row. The Beacons have won 4 of 7. That doesn't sound that amazing, but 2 of those 3 losses in overtime. They've been playing good basketball. They are a threat not only tonight at Indiana State, but they're going to be a threat at Arch Madness. I will say this, that they have really struggled on the road. They're 2-11 on the road. The Sycamores 9-3 at home. They won the first meeting by 18 points. They dominated the boards, and they held the Beacons to just 50 points. But Matt Loddick has retooled their offense. They are playing much different basketball over the last 8, 9, 10 games. And obviously 4 of their last 7, 2 overtime losses in those 3. Illinois Chicago is at Southern Illinois. Of course, the Salukis are one of those 4 teams tied for first at 10-4. Those 18 wins for the season for Southern is the most ever by a Brian Mullins coach team there in Carbondale. 18-7 is the record. UIC had been on a long losing streak. They snapped that over the weekend. SIU is 11-1 at home. These 2 teams like to play defense. Southern, the best defensive team in the league in terms of points allowed. They also lead the league in steals. The Flames, they're going to go block a bunch of shots. They lead the league in shot blocking. And Luke Yaklich, their head coach, of course, is a defensive guru trying to still put that program together and get it where he wants it. But they are going to hang their head on defense as well. Each of their leading scorers is averaging 16 points a game. That, of course, Marcus Damask at Southern Illinois and Jace Carter at UIC. These 2 teams face each other twice during the final 6 games. So how Southern can handle UIC will go a long way toward their hopes to be one of those top 4 teams in the Valley, if not one of the top, the top team. The war on 74 is back tonight. Bradley at Illinois State. And I know we're in this politically correct environment where we should say the I-74 rivalry game. No, it's the war on 74, and it goes to Illinois State tonight. Bradley won the first one by just 4 points over in Peoria. And head coach Ryan Peden told us Monday that he thinks his players not finally, but most of them had their first experience with the war on 74 earlier this year. And they truly understand the rivalry a lot better now. Bradley has obviously the league's best front court: Rink, Mask, Malavai Leones, and Jashawn Henry and Darius Hannah. But Illinois State's got some bigs. They have the kind of size that potentially could give Bradley some trouble. But you know what? Brian Wardle isn't afraid to go small, and his guards aren't small. But Duke Dean and Zeke Montgomery and Connor Hickman, he can put all three of those guys on the floor at the same time as well. Bradley's playing really, really good basketball right now. The last time these two teams met, Bradley won it, and it was the first of what they are right now on a 4-game winning streak. So Bradley's rounding toward that end of season kick that we see Brian Wardle put his teams in typically year after year. Final game tonight, Northern Iowa is at Evansville. Both these teams with losing streaks. Northern's lost 3 in a row. Evansville has lost 12 in a row. But this game features 2 of the league's top guards. You think of Bowen Bourne at Northern Iowa and Kenny Strawbridge at Evansville. They're both outstanding. Last time these two teams met, way back in December, Bowen Bourne had 29. Strawbridge had 17. This is a matchup of the league's longest tenured coach and Ben Jacobson, 333 wins in 17 seasons, and one of the league's first-year coaches in David Ragland. Jacobson's next win will give him sole possession of second place in Valley history in terms of conference-only wins. I think that number is 183 when he gets it. So, just a great career by Ben Jacobson. Evansville has been playing a little shorthanded. Promising sophomore Sekou Kalei has been out with an injury. Only 5 conference games left after tonight's action. The battle for first place, obviously wide open. Drake's half game lead will be challenged by 3 teams tonight. Remember, the top 4 get a first round bye at Arch Madness. And so these games are critical for these teams. They're critical. I want to remind you, courtside chat that we do every week with Mike Kern and some members of Missouri Valley, the media corps. We've moved that to Friday for a couple of weeks, and that will happen Friday morning right here on YouTube and other places. And this week's guest, Greg Sage from Belmont. They're both their SID and a color commentator on their broadcast. And Todd Eichow, who's the play-by-play voice of the Valparaiso Beacon. It's going to be fun to be with those two guys. Great guys, great broadcasters, great servants to our conference. Don't forget valleyhoopsinsider.com. We cover the Missouri Valley, the Ohio Valley Conference, content coming your way all the time, live videos like this, sometimes late night chats after a bunch of big games have taken place. We just try to cover it all for you right here on valleyhoopsinsider.com. I'm Harry Schrader, reminding you, since you've been there, make it a better place. We'll see you again real soon.